Have you ever noticed how some people work half as hard but earn 10 times more? They're not smarter than you. They're not luckier. They're not working longer hours. In fact, they're probably working less. Meanwhile, you're grinding, hustling, doing everything right, and barely getting ahead. You wake up early. You work late. You put in the effort. And year after year, nothing changes. You're still trading hours for dollars. Still stuck in the same place. Still wondering why success seems so easy for others but so impossible for you. It's not your work ethic. It's not your intelligence. It's not your education. It's leverage. The invisible force that separates people who build wealth from people who just work hard. Today I'm going to show you exactly what leverage is, why nobody teaches it to you, and how understanding this one concept can completely change your financial future. Because the difference between rich and poor isn't effort. It's understanding how leverage works. And most people never learn. Let me show you what I mean. Picture two people, person A and person B. Person A is a lawyer, went to a top school, works at a prestigious firm, bills 60 hours a week at $300 an hour. That's $18,000 a week. Nearly $1 million a year. Everyone thinks this person has it made. Person B is a software developer. Didn't finish college. Built an app in their spare time. The app makes $100 a month per user. Doesn't sound like much. But here's what changes everything. The lawyer makes money when they work. Stop working, stop earning. The lawyer is trading time for money. 1 hour equals 1 paycheck. Miss a week, lose that week's income. Miss a month, the money stops completely. The lawyer has zero leverage. They're just very expensive labor. Person B built something once. The app runs 24 hours a day. While they sleep, while they eat, while they're on vacation. The app has 10,000 users paying $100 a month. That's $1 million a month. The developer isn't trading time for money anymore. They built leverage. And that's the unfair advantage nobody talks about. The concept is simple, but most people never grasp it. Labor scales linearly. Leverage scales exponentially. Labor means you get paid for your time. You work an hour, you earn an hour's wage. You work 10 hours, you earn 10 hours wage. The relationship is direct. 1-to-1. This seems fair. This seems like how the world should work. But it's a trap. Because there are only so many hours in a day. Only so many days in a year. You can't scale time. You can't work 100 hours a day. You can't clone yourself. You're limited by biology, by physics, by reality. Labor has a ceiling. And that ceiling is lower than you think. Even if you're a high-paid professional, a doctor making $500,000 a year, a consultant charging $10,000 a day, you're still trading time for money. You're still labor. And labor maxes out. Leverage is different. Leverage means you do something once and it generates value repeatedly. You build it once, it works forever. You create it once, it sells infinitely. The relationship isn't 1-to-1. It's 1-to-many. 1 hour of work today can generate income for years. One creation can reach millions of people. One system can run without you. That's leverage. And leverage has no ceiling. There are 4 types of leverage that separate the wealthy from the working. Labor, capital, code, and media. Most people only understand labor. They trade their time for someone else's money. They climb the corporate ladder, get raises, work overtime, hustle harder. But they never escape the fundamental equation. Time equals money. Stop giving time, stop getting money. Labor is the lowest form of leverage because it doesn't scale. You can only sell your time once. Capital is the first real leverage. This is using money to make money. Investing in stocks, real estate, businesses. Your money works while you sleep. You're not trading time anymore. You're deploying capital. But there's a problem. You need capital first. If you're starting from zero, you can't use capital leverage. You have to build it through labor first. That's why capital leverage favors people who already have money. It's leverage for the wealthy, not for people trying to become wealthy. Code is the new leverage. This is software, automation, technology. You build something once and it runs infinitely. A website, an app, A tool. A system. Code doesn't get tired. Code doesn't need sleep. Code doesn't ask for raises. Code scales to millions of people with almost zero marginal cost. This is why tech companies become billion-dollar businesses with tiny teams. Instagram was 13 people when it sold for $1 billion. WhatsApp was 55 people when it sold for $19 billion. They built leverage through code. One engineer's work could serve 1 billion users. That's exponential scaling. That's why software developers can become millionaires in their 20s while doctors making twice their salary are still paying off debt in their 40s. Code is leverage. Media is the fourth leverage. This is content, audience, attention. You create something once and it reaches millions. A YouTube video, a podcast, a blog post, a book, a tweet. Media scales infinitely. You record one video, it gets viewed 1 million times. You write one article, it gets read by hundreds of thousands. You're not trading time for money anymore. You're trading time for attention. And attention converts to money. Media built empires. Joe Rogan signed a $200 million deal with Spotify. Mr. Beast makes over $50 million a year from YouTube. Individual creators are out-earning corporations because they understand media leverage. They create once, distribute infinitely. The content works for them 24/7. No employees. No overhead. Just leverage. Here's what nobody tells you about leverage. The system is designed to keep you in labor. School teaches you to trade time for money. Get good grades, get a good job, work your way up. That's the script. That's what everyone's told to do. And it's not wrong. It's just incomplete. It's the script for becoming a good employee, not for building wealth. The system needs labor. Companies need workers. The economy runs on people trading time for money. So that's what gets taught. That's what gets reinforced. Work hard. Be reliable. Show up on time. Climb the ladder. But nobody teaches you how to build leverage. Nobody teaches you how to create assets. Nobody teaches you how to make money work for you instead of you working for money. Because if everyone understood leverage, who would do the labor? The wealthy understand this instinctively. They don't trade time for money. They buy other people's time. They invest capital. They own assets. They build systems. They create leverage and then they hire labor to maintain it. Think about every billionaire you know. None of them are trading time for money. Jeff Bezos isn't packing boxes at Amazon warehouses. Elon Musk isn't assembling Teslas. Warren Buffett isn't answering customer service calls. They built leverage. They own systems that generate wealth without their direct involvement. They work on their businesses, not in them. And the wealth gap between them and everyone else isn't about intelligence or work ethic. It's about understanding and applying leverage. Here's the trap most people fall into. They see rich people and think they need to work harder. So they grind more. They hustle harder. They take on side gigs. They work weekends. They sacrifice sleep. And they burn out. Because they're still operating in the labor paradigm. They're still trading time for money, just trading more time. But working harder without leverage just makes you tired and broke. It's like running faster on a treadmill. You're expending more energy, but you're not going anywhere. The game isn't about working harder. It's about working differently. It's about building systems that work without you. It's about creating assets that generate value while you sleep. So how do you build leverage when you're starting from zero? You start with labor. There's no way around it. You have to trade time for money initially. But you do it strategically. You don't just work for a paycheck. You work to build skills that create leverage later. You learn to code. You learn to create content. You learn to build businesses. You learn to invest. You're not just working for money. You're working for knowledge and skills that will let you escape the labor trap. You save aggressively. Not to buy things. To buy leverage. To invest in assets. To build systems. Every dollar you save is a dollar that can work for you instead of you working for it. Then you transition. You start building leverage on the side. You create content. You build a website. You develop a product. You start investing. You do this while still working your job. You don't quit on day one. You build the leverage while you still have income. You work nights. You work weekends. Not for extra money. For future freedom. You're building the system that will eventually replace your labor. This phase is hard. You're working 2 jobs. Your day job and your leverage project. Most people quit here. They get tired. They don't see immediate results. They go back to just trading time for money because it's easier. But this is the bridge. This is how you cross from labor to leverage. You can't jump the gap. You have to build the bridge. Eventually the leverage takes over. Your content reaches enough people. Your product gains traction. Your investments generate meaningful returns. Your system runs smoothly. And suddenly you're earning more from leverage than from labor. That's when you can quit your job. That's when you can stop trading time for money. That's when you're free. Not because you don't work, but because your work is no longer linear. You're not paid by the hour anymore. You're paid by the value your systems create. And those systems scale infinitely. Let's be completely clear about what this isn't. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. This isn't passive income with no work. This isn't a shortcut. Building leverage takes years. It takes learning. It takes failure. It takes persistence. Most people who try to build leverage fail the first time, and the second time, and the third time. But they keep building because they understand the alternative. The alternative is trading time for money for 40 years. The alternative is retiring at 65 with just enough to survive. The alternative is never being free. Building leverage is hard, but staying in labor forever is harder. Here's what happens when you understand leverage. You stop measuring your worth by your hourly rate. You stop thinking about promotions and raises. You start thinking about systems and scale. You start asking different questions. Not how can I earn more per hour, but how can I create something that earns without my hours? Not how can I work harder, but how can I build systems that work for me? Not how can I climb the ladder, but how can I build my own ladder? Your entire perspective shifts. You see opportunities everywhere. You see leverage in everything. You understand why some 25-year-olds are millionaires while some 50-year-olds are still broke. It's not talent. It's leverage. The unfair advantage nobody talks about is that leverage is available to everyone but understood by almost no one. You don't need permission to build leverage. You don't need a degree. You don't need connections. You don't need capital to start. You just need to understand the concept and start building. You can learn to code for free online. You can start creating content with a phone. You can build businesses with no money. You can invest with small amounts. The tools are available. The information is free. The only thing missing is understanding. And now you have it. So here's your challenge. Stop trading time for money as your only strategy. Start building leverage today. Pick one form. Code, media, a business, investments. Anything that scales beyond your time. Start small. Build on the side. Learn the skills. Create the systems. Fail and try again. Because the alternative is 40 more years of labor. 40 more years of trading hours for dollars. 40 more years of watching other people get wealthy while you stay stuck. The unfair advantage is leverage. And now you know. The question is, what will you do with that knowledge? Will you keep playing the labor game? Or will you start building leverage? The choice is yours. But make no mistake. The gap between those who understand leverage and those who don't is the gap between wealth and work. Between freedom and employment. Between building and being used. Choose wisely. Because this decision determines everything.